Yo, 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 what's happening, guys? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. Let's get straight into it. I know the market has been it's been a very tough week for trading, I'll be honest with you. It's been very indecisive. So I want to go over what I'm looking at for the day. I want to go what coins this needs to go to 0 to 100. What coins I'm looking at. You can see quite a red day, but nothing too crazy. You can see pump actually pumped. ADA is actually down a bit, but I want to go over ADA today for most of the session because I do think that ADA is going to pump super hard. Just my personal opinion. And I want to talk about the entries and all that, but we're going to go over a lot of altcoins. If you guys do have any coins that you want to go over, let me know. Put it in the description, and we can definitely go over every single coin that you guys suggest. So let's get straight into it. I do have a setup that I'm looking at right now, and we'll start with that, and then we'll look at ADA, and then we'll go to Bitcoin, and then we'll jump through all the altcoins to find some potential setups today. So let's get straight into it, and let's go. So if we look at Solana quickly over here, guys. So I just want to quickly remove all the drawings and a fresh, clean chart over here. So basically, if we look at Solana, you can see how price is still holding like this key demand zone right over here. Okay, so price is still holding this level over here for Solana, but the problem is, guys, Solana is still clearly in this downward move, right? You can see that even if you look at the 4-hour time frame, price is just still making lower highs and lower highs, right? We're making these lower lows and lower lows. So what needs to happen is price needs to somehow break above this previous high over here in order for price to continue higher, right? But for now, you can see it just keeps on getting rejected, okay, on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so what I need to see is I do need to see price start getting above this level here. At least this, I'll show you on the lower time frame is why it makes sense. But if we draw this in over here, right over here, this is a key level, guys. So I want to see Solana get above this level here for on the 4-hour time frame, okay? Because you'll see if we go down to the 1-hour time frame, it just keeps on getting rejected here, guys. Price is just getting stored from this level, okay? You can see on the 1-hour time frame it makes a lot more sense. Whereas we have these lower highs, we need to start clearing this previous high over here and start clearing the support that we have built up over here, okay? So in order for Solana to continue moving higher, it needs to get above this level. And right now we are still getting rejected from the zone, which is obviously not a good sign, I'll be honest with you, because if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, you can just see that there's nothing really we can do until we get above that zone. I mean, we could play the short, but I do like how Solana did create like a double bottom structure over here, so I'm expecting potentially that we do break out there. This does look very bottomy for Solana, potentially for a bounce to the upside, okay? So I'm not looking at sells today for Solana. I'm only looking at buys because of the fact that we did get like a change of character. We did break this previous high. We are still holding, the 1780 level. But in order for price to continue higher, I do want to see price. I do want to see price get above this level right over here. Okay, if price can't get above that level for Solana, then I'm sorry to say we're probably just going to chop around for a bit longer, okay? So I want to see price get above here, then we can play the long to the like $190 level again. Also, we have resistance / support over here, so that would be a target as well, okay? But the problem is right now we just don't really have the setup. We don't have it yet. We need price to obviously close above this level in order to get the confirmation that we're going to go higher for Solana, okay? So that's what I'm looking at for Sol. That is a setup that we will be trading today, hopefully. If we do get the setup, so I do think that it's a good trade. Yeah, what's happening, Matt? What's happening, Josh? Relief. What's happening, Boost? We'll go over all the coins. Let's smash the like button as well. If you guys did just join, just smash the like button because we're gonna go over most of the tokens today. I am expecting a potential bounce today, guys, and I'll explain to you why as well. But Solana, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Solana to get above this level here. Right now, we're still getting rejected from the zone, guys. That 4-hour candle closure is not a good closure because we got rejected, right? So what tends to happen right now is we're probably just going to consolidate on the lower time frames, like the 50-minute or the 5-minute time frame. probably just go sideways for the whole day. But I do think we're going to take out these levels, guys, because this structure right over here for Solana, you can see our price created this double bottom. We did break this previous high. We also broke this previous high. But now we're getting stuck between this fair value gap over here. So we need to break above that level. Okay. So I will be posting this setup within the group as well. But right now it's just not ready. So we're going to put an alert there. But yeah, I do think that we go up from this level there. All right. We're just going to go over Bitcoin quickly and then we'll jump through some other altcoins. Let's go over here. So Bitcoin, I mean, we spoke about it yesterday. We were saying that if Bitcoin were to lose this level here, on the 4 hour. So if Bitcoin were to lose this bullish fair value gap, so this green box, we were going to come down, right? But right now, Bitcoin, it is, testing these lower levels over here at around about 1012. Like we did hit 1012,600, which is very interesting. We could potentially come a little bit lower here for Bitcoin, but we are holding this zone. Okay, so first things first, what needs to happen is we need to go down to like the 15 or the 1 hour time frame to see if we're getting the structure to break to the upside, right? The problem is with Bitcoin right now is, although it does look like we are getting a push higher, I want to see price start closing above this level here. I'll be honest with you, 114,179. Okay, so if Bitcoin doesn't close above this level today, then we could potentially see price just consolidate sideways. But I do think that Bitcoin can potentially take out this level. I do think that it can. So if Bitcoin were to get above here, then we can look for a potential long. But the problem is right now, you can't really play a long at Bitcoin when there's just nothing really to long here. Although we did break these previous highs over here, the structure is looking a bit strange, I'll be honest with you. So I'd rather wait for price to close above 114,179 before even considering a long for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Right now, it's currently in a no man's land. But if we do look at the daily time frame, I mean, that daily close isn't the best. It's quite a strong daily close, but as long as we do stay above this level here, we can even come down a little bit lower, retest like 112. But yeah, there is a potential that this just gets bought up like straight away. Okay, so I'm not really interested in shorting either. I'll be honest with you. I'm more interested in playing like a long scalp towards like 115 and then taking profits here, something like that. But right now, there's just nothing we can do for Bitcoin. Okay. All right, we're gonna go over all the altcoins now. We're gonna go over all the altcoins. What are we looking at? We're looking at. Let's look at BNB. I just want to quickly explain my BNB trade yesterday, guys. I want to explain to you why I took the trade and also why we got stopped out, which is something that I need to look at a little bit more. I'll be honest with you, right? Because we could have held this trade and made a lot more with the setup. But I want to speak to you why I took it and then why we got stopped out at break even. Okay. So basically with this trade yesterday with BNB, in the community, guys, I did post this setup. Basically, we said BNB, we're looking to target like 837, which is that support, but we also have support at like 842, right? So that would be TP1 and TP2 here, stop loss above that previous high. Okay, so that was the setup that we posted yesterday. Okay, so the reason why we took it, so you can see our price closed above this trend line, right? We closed above, but the problem was, I think there's a lot of misconception with trend line trading, right? Because the thing is with trend lines, you have to also break structure, right? The problem with this this trade over here, and the reason why it wouldn't pump is because we didn't break like previous highs, guys. So this trend line of, okay, cool, it got broken, but this is the possibility of this just faking out and tapping these wicks is more likely than getting a pump because we are bearish, right? In terms of like the structure, creating lower highs and lower lows. So the reason why this wouldn't work for long is because we couldn't break above these previous highs, right? But yeah, we did get the trend line, but we couldn't break above the highs. And that's the problem with some people that trade trend lines. They don't understand that you have to still break structure. Even though you are breaking above or below a trend line, you still have to break structure, guys. You can't just trade the trend line because it broke the trend line. Sometimes the market's not going to give you those opportunities. So sometimes it will, depending on like volume and stuff. But ideally, you want to see structure break before you actually take trades, especially with trend lines. Okay, But basically what I saw, okay, cool, we didn't break the highs. This wick over here is showing that there's a lot of rejection from this level. So then I went to the 5-minute time frame, and then I saw that there was this trend line over here, and I waited for that close. We got the retest, and then we looked for the sell. And then what actually happened is price came up, we hit our TP1, we even hit a little bit lower, and then you can see our price came exactly and hit our entry price, and then it literally stopped us out. So yeah, it stopped us out, and then we hit break even, and then after that TP2 got hit. And the reason why I went break even here, because I thought that we've already tried to liquidate these highs already. So this was my whole thing, right? I thought that price already tried to take out the highs. I didn't think we would, and even over here we tried to take out the highs again. So I didn't think we would come up and try to retest this level again, which is why I did go break even. And then obviously it just absolutely melted after that. So, I mean, to be honest with you, for me, that is a good break even, because we don't normally see it try to like retest these highs multiple times, especially on like a bearish move like this. But, potentially we could have just put our stop loss, above these highs. But yeah, that was the trade from yesterday. Is what it is. Okay. Okay, so let's go over Ethereum, and then we'll go over Litecoin. Yeah, so my thoughts on Ethereum today, I did post an update in the community, but I think that ETH is actually looking quite good today, and we'll go over why, right? Basically, there was two scenarios for Ethereum, and right now we actually closed back above this level. So my whole thing with Ethereum was, okay, if ETH did close below this level here at 4,150, we could potentially come down and retest like this $3,900 level, right? I've got a long sitting, like I've got some limit orders sitting in this green box between 3,900 and 3,800 for Ethereum, just in case we ever got that shot down yesterday, because it was looking really weak yesterday, right? The market was looking extremely weak yesterday, so there was a potential for Ethereum to actually come down lower, right? But what's making me feel a little bit more bullish today is that ETH actually closed back above this level, right? So I spoke about it this morning as well in the Altcoin analysis. So I said, okay, guys, ETH broke support at 150 and is currently retesting this key zone. If we see price hold this level as resistance, we can look for sells towards 3,900. But if we close above this level on the 4 hour, then we can look for a run up. Okay, so that's exactly what happened, right? So we instead of actually getting a retest from this level, that 4 hour candle closed above, right? So it actually closed above this level, which means there is a potential for price to continue higher here, right? So then what we need to do now is we can see, okay, we do have something juicy setting up over here for Ethereum. We have this trend line coming down here on the lower time frames, and we also have this gap that needs to get filled, right? So there's this level over here, right over there, and this will all make sense when I go down to the lower time frames as well, like the 15 and the 5 minute, because what I'll show you is that this level is going to be so crucial. And the reason why, so it's 4,263. That's the only way I'm going to go long today for Ethereum. If we can get a close above this level, guys, then I would consider going long. All right. So basically, on the 15-minute time frame, if we go down to the 15, let's actually have a look over here. So have a look at that level. Why is this level important? You guys need to ask yourself these questions. So in terms of, for me, I can explain it to you, but whenever I look at a chart, I always ask my question, why am I drawing these levels on the chart? And you always have to give yourself an explanation, right? So the reason why, guys, so basically, if you see over here, you can see we've actually tapped these lows, right? So we created a double bottom over here. We took out these lows. Liquidity has been taken for Ethereum, but the problem is we still have not broken this previous high. So structurally, we can still get rejected from these levels, right? We can still get rejected from this level over here. And the reason why I'm waiting for 4,263 is because this is the gap that people are willing to sell in, right? So people would be interested in taking sells in this level, right? So what needs to happen is price needs to close above that level in order for the sellers to be out, right? Because if someone's selling within the zone, they're going to have stop losses above here. And basically, we need to see price take out the stop losses, and then we go long. So for me, it's looking super juicy for Ethereum today, because if you look at this, if we close above this level here that we've drawn, the 4,263 on the 1 hour time frame, then we'd also close above this on the close above the trend line, right? So we have double confluence that this is going to go higher, and we know that we did actually break the highs if we did actually close above this level here. So it will be super interesting. We do need to close above 4,263, but that's going to be the trade, guys. I think that's a super juicy trade for the day for Ethereum. So it's all about being patient and waiting for that, because right now, we can't do anything, right? We can still get rejected from this level. We can still come and break this low, but I do think that Ethereum could potentially pump here today. Yeah, there is a potential, guys. There is a potential, but it's all about being patient. So I think right now a lot of people would be like, oh, Dylan's looking at long, saying, why don't we just go long now? Well, the problem is because we have so much stuff we have to get through before we can even consider that, right? We can go long here, put your stop loss below here, and then target like these highs, right? But the problem is we could easily come here and then we just get absolutely melted back down to these lows, right? This is a strong resistance zone, right? So there is a potential for us to come lower, okay? But I do think right now that the play today is actually to go long. I'll be honest with you guys. I think the play today is to go long. You can see some tokens are starting to rile up here, so we're going to go over some more here. I want to go over Sonic and maybe Pump as well. Audio also. Audio, guys, I've actually got a setup for audio that I want to go over. I was looking at it last night. We'll go over that as well. But yeah, guys, I do think that ETH could potentially pump today. So I will be posting the setup in the community. If you guys do want to join the community, there is a link in the description. So make sure you guys do click on that link. Basically, we tried to set up yesterday with BNB. It played out perfectly, but we did get stopped out at break even. But yeah, we've been killing it lately. We haven't had a loss in a while right now. So make sure you guys do join. It'll be good to have everyone there. All right. Anyway, so let's talk about audio quickly, and then we'll go over all the tokens that you guys suggest. If you guys did just join the stream, put some tokens in. We're gonna go over every single token that you guys put in, because we want to look for some setups today. And you know what I've realized, when people do actually comment their tokens, we tend to look at more setups, right? Because most tokens that you guys give me, I don't even look at in a day, right? Because there's so many tokens, and you guys, everyone's different. And then sometimes I'll look at a token, like someone mentioned to me Pump the other day, right? I don't normally look at Pump just because of like low liquidity and whatever, but there was a setup that we took in the community that absolutely ripped, right? So make sure you put your setups and we'll go over everything. All right. So we've got Mooding, we've got OTC, we've got Sonic and XRP, perfect, and we've got XCN. We'll go over XCN first because that was the first one, and then we'll go over Litecoin. But Ethereum is pumping here, guys. Check it, ETH. Ethereum is pumping here. What is happening here? We're getting a push. So, guys, basically, the only way we go long here for ETH. Let's have a look here, because we are getting. Oh, it is starting to pump here. Interesting. Sorry, my screen just froze for some random reason. Right. So we are starting to pump here for Ethereum. So what I'm saying today, guys, is that, okay, cool. You guys will be looking at this and be like, there is a potential to take it long from this level, but for me, there's not. Have a look to the left of here. We have multiple resistance sitting at the zone. We have to clear these levels first, to be honest with you. And then we can take it long off this trend line. So this is the setup I'm waiting for today. And then there's also a bigger trend line for Ethereum that can potentially play out as well. So have a look at this. So if we were to play this trend line break, we could even hold for a break past this trend line over here. But this could also be a potential to take profits at that trend line right over here. But yeah, there's a massive trend line booming for Ethereum here. So this will be interesting to see if we can get that today. We do have an alert set there. So yeah, that's Ethereum. Let's go over XCN. XCN. That was the first one, and then we'll go over Litecoin. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, like this type of token, guys, it's super hard. I mean, this looks absolutely terrible. XCN does not look good. I'll be honest with you. That daily candle took out yesterday's. I mean, it took out those highs from Monday. It took out last week's highs, literally all of those highs. Since the beginning of August, actually, it took out the highs. So this is looking like it's not looking good. I'll be honest with you. XCN, yeah, I'm not too sure what we can do here. It's just super chopped. This is looking like potentially nothing really we can trade here. I'll be honest with you. It just looks so bearish. You know, breaking all these highs from last week, and then also like creating a lower high over here, and then also right now creating a breaking structure to the downside from this low over here, now creating also a lower high. Personally, this is looking like it could even break these lows. So I wouldn't touch this token today, because I'm more on like looking for potential longs there on a couple tokens. So I'm not really going to look at shorts on this because I don't really know this token, and it looks really like it doesn't really look like market structures to me. It just looks like people are buying and selling, a lot of whales. So I'm not really interested in that. The liquidity on this token it looks like a lot of people are messing around with it. So yeah, let's just move on to Litecoin. I mean, if you want to hold this thing for spot, you know, I don't even think so, to be honest with you. This thing just looks absolutely cooked. Like, I'll be honest with you. I would not touch this token. Anyway, so that's my opinion on that. But Litecoin, guys, Litecoin hit our entry, yeah. Yeah, I think Litecoin pumps there. So basically, I did post this the other day as well. And the thing is with Litecoin, yeah. So basically, we are waiting for this 113 level. It's a really strong level for Litecoin, and I was expecting a bounce. I said, still waiting for the retest. We did get the retest here, guys. I do think that Litecoin is going to bounce there. I'll be honest with you. And it looks like we did miss it. Let me just remove this. I do think that we just missed this. Let's see if we can maybe get an entry here. Yeah, so the only way we can get an entry here now, I mean, yeah, we should have taken the long at 113. I mean, that's beautiful. But now for confirmation, we have this trend line right over here. That would be amazing. So what I would want to see here is a clear break above this trend line, and then we can play the long, okay? Because right now, you know, we're obviously getting a nice reaction from that level that we spoke about. But for continuation, we need to start breaking this previous high over here. And then we can play the long off this retest back up to this level. So yeah, I did miss this long right now off this 113 level. I didn't actually see it. My alarm didn't go off for some reason. But anyway, we can potentially play a long off this trend line break today. So this is something that I'm looking at for Litecoin today. Looking at a potential 6 to 7% move to the upside for Litecoin. I mean, a lot of people are a little bit bearish right now, but like the charts are at support, guys. So, you know, all we need is a bit of structure to be broken, and we need some trends to be broken, right? And then that can give us that fuel to go up, right? So that's why I'm looking at longs today, because I do think that there is a potential that we do get a bounce from these zones, right? You know, everyone's calling for lower prices, you know, 100K, 98K. I've already seen it. I've seen it all on Twitter and everything, right? So I just trade what's based on the chart, guys. I honestly don't care what other people say, like in terms of Twitter, because a lot of people say a lot of like not great things, right? I mean, unless like they actually know what they're talking about, like our community and stuff like that, I just don't listen to anyone else, right? Because the thing is, these charts, like Litecoin is showing a bounce here, right? So I mean, if Litecoin bounces, yeah, Bitcoin's not going to go down to those levels, but there is a potential maybe like within the weeks. But this is a scalp setup, so this should play out within like one day, right? So there is a potential price comes up here, and then we get a rejection from that zone. So there's also time frame where people just shout out a whole bunch of numbers, but they don't actually give you the time frame, right? So like they'll be like, oh, Bitcoin's going to 98K, yeah, cool, maybe in 2 months, right? So yeah, basically this is what I'm looking at for Litecoin. If we get a break above this level, right over here, pretty much we want to see this high getting broken as well, right? So we have this high over here, bang. So 115.49, guys, 115.49, that is the level. that we're going to play some longs there. 115.49, 115.5. We're going to play the long if we get a break above there. I do think that it's probably going to pump today. It's looking super juicy here. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can get that long. All right. Loads of bearish sentiment, exactly. But the thing is with that, I do think that a lot of alts like Litecoin, you know, we're at these levels, right? Litecoin is at this key level here, guys. You know, price hasn't tapped the zone. We were waiting for this for a long time, right? So all we need to do is just break the trend, and then we play the long, right? So even on the 15-minute time frame, you'll see it makes a lot more sense. Right over here, we have this previous high. We also want to break that high, right? So we break the trend, but we also want to break the high. So this is what I'm looking at, right? So if we break the high, we break the trend line, then we're golden, right? This is a beautiful trend line, guys. Even on the 15-minute, we have multiple touches here. I think Litecoin is potentially going to move today, right? But it's all about getting the candle to close above these levels. If it doesn't, then we get rejected. So these are all just ideas that we're trying to form a trade out of, right? So I do think that could potentially play out today. So what other coins we got? We've got Moodeng, Sonic, and XRP. Atom also breaking out. ENA. Ignore the noise. Apply your strategy. Exactly. So that's exact. Devil literally said it exactly what you have to do, right? There's a lot of people out there that, you know, will. I mean, there's just so many opinions in the world, especially within crypto, right? And a lot of people just don't know what they're talking about as well, right? They'll just shout out a whole bunch of things, and you know, if you have a strategy, you know, this trade may play out today, and then some people might even be shorting Litecoin on the higher time frames, right? So, you know, Litecoin can potentially go down bearish, but like today it looks kind of good, right? So why would I play a sell when price could potentially break out of a trend, and it can potentially change structure over here and break this high, right? So exactly what Devil said, just apply your strategy. And my strategy says that Litecoin can potentially go higher today. All right, so let's go over, I want to go over Atom as well quickly, because and then we'll go over the other tokens, because Atom is potentially breaking out here. So what is happening on Atom? So I do have a level here for Atom at 4.29. What is that level? I don't know when I drew this though. Oh, that's that previous high, okay. So if we look for Atom, so we had this previous high. So the reason why I drew this level was obviously because that was the time where Atom was bearish, right? So Atom was bearish, and then in order for price to be bullish for Atom, we had to break this previous high at 4.296 in order for price to go higher, right? And that's exactly what we got, right? You can see how price closed above this level, got the retest of that zone, and then we continued higher, right? And then what actually happened is price came all the way back down, pretty much reset that whole move. But right now, I'll be honest with you, Atom could potentially be holding here. The problem is I can't really long at this level, just based on what we've seen, because we did actually break. The thing is with me, with Atom right now, what I don't like is that we did actually break this previous low as well. So we did break this low, so we have formed a new lower low. So I would need to see like price break this level here in order for price to go higher. You know, we do have a trend line as well on the 15. We'll see it. Yeah, I guess like I see maybe people are looking at potentially this trend line over here. You know, that could potentially play out, but on the 15-minute time frame, what we want to see is we do want to see structure being broken, right? I want to see like this high at least getting broken. I want to see a 15-minute close above there. Until then, I'm not really interested. I want to see price start breaking this level here. I do like how it's forming. It is consolidating above these highs over here. So we did break these highs, which is the first thing. But I would like to see price break above like 4.382. That would be a good level to potentially look at it long here. So if we get a break above this level on the 15, then we do have a bit of a scalp to the upside, right? We have potential levels of taking profit at this level here. We have, you know, these highs over here. So what I would want to see is, you know, we did get that trend line break, but I would want to see price close above there, and then we could potentially look for a scalp to the upside with stop loss just below this previous level over here. Okay, so a nice risk to reward. I do like the setup. I'll be honest with you. This could potentially play out. I want to put an alert here. I do want to put an alert here. Yeah, have a look at this level, guys. It's so critical. If we can break above that zone, I'm going long. But it looks like we are pumping, I guess. It looks like, check it, Ethereum. So this is my plan for, if you guys did just join, this is my plan for ETH. Potentially looking for longs here, but we have to close above 4,263. But we are pumping, yeah. We are pumping, yeah. I think Atom, yeah, I do. Even on the 1 hour time frame, it did break out as well. This is looking good. We could, you could potentially just play the long ride now, but I want to wait for that 15 minutes. If we can close above this level here on the 15 minutes, then I'm playing the long. Yeah, so this looks good. So we are looking at a couple trades today. We got Solana lined up as well. I want to see Solana get above like 182. 182. We've got Atom lined out, and then we've got Ethereum as well. So these trades all going to be taken within the community, guys. So this is where Devalt is also posting all of his content in this channel here, guys. And then I'm also posting for altcoins. So make sure you guys do join the community. The link is in the description. We did have a nice setup yesterday. We've been killing it within the easy setups. We haven't been taking a lot of trades because the market has been it's been super choppy, I'll be honest with you. The last 2 days, we did try to take that short for BNB, but then it got stopped out break even. But potentially we get some long setups today. So make sure you guys do join ASAP, because, I think New York session we're gonna see the volume come through. Okay. So that's that. But what I want to go over is, let's have a look at what you guys are suggesting here. What other tokens you guys are looking at? So we've got Sonic and XRP. Sonic and XRP. All right, let's do it. But before I go over that, can I quickly go over Cardano, guys? Because I do think that Cardano, a lot of people are going to sleep on it. I know it dumped a lot, guys. I know Cardano dumped a lot, like 7% yesterday. But I'm playing the long. I'll be honest with you guys. I think that this is going to be the trade of the next couple. This trade is going to make me quite a bit of cash, I'll be honest with you, because this retest here is the weekly reset, guys. I think that, because the thing is with Cardano, we got the breakout of this massive bull flag, right? And what I was saying last week, if you guys remember, I literally pointed this out. Where is it? Yeah. So I was like, happy Monday, guys. Cardano's at 0.9435, right? But I do expect price to come down to 0.8677, and I'll look for long once we get a retest within the week, right? And that's exactly what we got, guys. We literally at that level right now, what I said, right? So I did post a setup yesterday. I did tell you guys that I'm going long. I put a 3x leverage and I put a 9x leverage on a long here. So I've got 2 trades running for Cardano. More of an aggressive 9x long, and then 3x long for a higher time frame position, right? I think that Cardano is going to absolutely pump from this level. This is not financial advice, but this is something you don't really see these bull flags happen like this on the weekly time frame too often, right? I do think that this could play out. It might take a couple weeks, it might take a couple days, but we're looking at 120% move here. So on a 10x leverage, you're looking at like 1,200%, right? But I would suggest going low leverage on this, because stop loss is going to be quite wide, right? You're looking at a 12% stop loss. So make sure you guys understand how much you're risking on this trade. Rather go low leverage. But I do think it's going to play out, guys. This is the weekly reset that we were waiting for since Monday, right? So I was expecting a dump potentially, and we exactly got that. So I think that Cardano is the next one to pump. I'm not listening to anyone else. I'm looking at what the chart is saying. The chart is saying that we retesting this level. We are potentially going to bounce from the zone. The weekly time frame just looks so juicy, and to get a weekly reset like this after a strong weekly candle closure and a break of structure on the weekly time frame, I honestly think that's going to pump, guys. So that's Cardano. That's my thoughts on Cardano. I personally think that we're going to go higher today. All right. Oh, Solana's crossing the level. Yeah, guys, the market's kind of looking juicy. And Solana's forming this massive flag as well, I'll be honest with you. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. I'll be honest with you, the market's looking decent there. It's looking quite nice. Looking like we are going to get a bounce here. I do want to see price get above this level, but yo, that's a beautiful 1 hour candle. What's happening on the 15? So the 15-minute time frame is about to close here. I think that Atom's going to be the play today. I'll be honest with you. This is looking super juicy. If we can close above this level here, we can go long. All right. So there's quite a few setups, guys. There's quite a few setups. We're going to go over Sonic and XRP and Mooding as well. Perfect. Let's go over all of that. I just don't want to miss the trades here. Let's go over Sonic. Which one did I do? Let's have a look at both. Yeah, Sonic's pumping today, right? Alright, let's have a look at Sonic. What is happening with Sonic? I don't know when that was last. I think it was last month. Alright, let's have a look at Sonic on the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, I mean, it's kind of just stuck between two key levels. So right now we are stuck below, pretty much between that level and this level here. So it's kind of just ranging right now for Sonic. Personally, there's just nothing you can really do right now. I mean, if we look at the 4 hour time frame, it's just super chopped. I wouldn't really look at anything. You could look for like a trend line break on the 4 hour, but personally, if you're looking to long this token, I'd probably just wait for price to close back above this level here, and then we look for the longs to these highs, because we are just ranging. So price essentially could just do this the whole time, right? So I don't really want to play a range trade for Sonic here. I'd rather wait for the daily candle to close above that level, around about 0.3311. Okay. Yeah. So there's not really much more we can say. I'll be honest. The thing is, like, with my strategy, if I don't see anything on the charts, XRP got absolutely demolished, guys. By the way, let's have a chat about XRP. But what I'm saying is, if I don't see the trade on my chart, I can just tell based on looking on the daily time frame that I just don't want to trade this token today, because it's not gonna give me anything, right? So there's just no point of me looking at it in terms of looking for trades. Okay. So it doesn't mean I don't like the token that you suggested. It just means that there's just nothing we can really do about a trade today on that. I mean, XRP as well, it's looking a little bit. So the whole thing with XRP, can you see, guys, how important it is to wait for candles to close? So the whole thing with this XRP setup here, like, have a look at this. So this was your previous high, and we had this huge pump, and everyone was like, oh, XRP is probably going higher. But we couldn't close above this level. We couldn't close above this high. So the whole thing is, guys, even with wicks, you need body candle closes above the wick as well, right? It's not just above the body. It's above the wick, because this is where you get trapped, right? So because price couldn't close above this level over here, this didn't break structure at all. It didn't change character. It was showing us that price is actually still in a downtrend. Prices still could potentially go lower. So XRP, that was the first sign of weakness, because we didn't close above that level, right? But anyway, that's just like a bit of education in terms of when you're looking at like market structure. But in terms of this right now, I mean, XRP is kind of looking bearish. I'll be honest with you. We broke this previous low over here. We are in a downtrend right now. The 4 hour time frame is showing us that we can't really look at longs right now. I mean, you could probably look for like RSI bullish divergence or whatever, but or MACDs. I don't really trade that stuff, but there could be. I actually do want to have a look and see if the RSI. I don't look at the RSI ever. Like, this is the first time in a couple of years. Yeah, there is bullish divergence, bro. I knew it. You can just tell. So there is bullish divergence on the RSI. So there is a potential for a bounce over here. So like a lot of people would probably post this and be like, oh, bullish divergence for XRP, go long or whatever. But the problem with that is the thing is with that is like we did break structure to the downside. Like, we did break this low. So like, you still have to keep that in mind. So the problem with that is, okay, cool, we got bullish divergence, but the structurally we're not really there yet, right? Structurally. Okay. Okay, I do like what I do like about XRP is that we are holding these lows, right? We are holding these lows. That's the first thing. Personally, we have to get above like these highs here. So essentially, we have this gap over here that price needs to obviously take out. And yeah, if we can start closing above there, then cool, we can go long. But this is the problem is right now, it's a similar situation to what I was talking about on the daily time frame, right? It's a similar situation over here, where price hits this level, right? It will hit this level, and then we don't actually close above it, but we just get rejected, right? So it's the same thing. If we go down to the 50-minute time frame, we need price to close above this level, right? We can't take the trade. Well, I can't. I don't know. Some people probably could. Different strategies and all, but essentially I can't take the trade if we don't even break above this high over here, and we don't break above this fair value gap over here, because the problem is there is also support to the left hand side over here, right? So this is a retest and potentially can come lower, right? So we have a whole bunch of confluence that suggests that this level is crucial, right? If we close above this level, then we take the long. We also have this beautiful trend line over here. Okay, here we go. Oh, I need to remove all these brushes, but just 1 second. Right. So have a look at this. Right. So basically with XRP, essentially once we break above this level over here at like 2.99476 and this trend line, we can play the long for XRP. So the problem is right now we are still below that level. I would want to see price get above 2.9476, and then we can potentially play the long for XRP towards these highs, right? So this will be very interesting to see if we can get this. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for XRP. I do think XRP we can potentially get a long today, but it's all about waiting. And just being patient, guys. It's all about being patient. Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are a little bit on the bearish side today. I'm more on the bullish side today, so we shall see what happens. I'm bullish until an extent. Like, I'm bullish only once we break above the levels that we want to break above, right? It is still bearish. I mean, this was my setup for ENA. I was looking for sells, but the problem is it didn't really give us that move, right? And the problem is if you look to the left over here, we are still holding this previous level here. So I do think that this could potentially play out. Like if we do potentially hold this trend line as resistance, but yeah, like ENA can potentially dump here, guys. Like this structure does look like it can. But I'm not going to play this because I'm not really interested in looking for sells there. So I'll be honest with you. But yeah, the problem is with this, there is also this trend line as well that I'm looking at. I mean, if this breaks, I'm going to play the long rather. Okay. Looks like we're getting a pump here. Yeah, I'm very interested in longs today, guys. No more shorts there. Unless we get rejected. Atom's super close to our entry, yeah. Litecoin's pumping as well. Did we go over Litecoin? Yeah, we did. I'm super interested in Litecoin as well, guys. I'm super interested in taking this long here. So guys, we're gonna potentially take quite a few trades today for the altcoins. I'm not really interested in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not really moving today. Yeah, Bitcoin's a little bit slow today. I think Bitcoin dominance must be going down. It's probably down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I think Bitcoin dominance needs to top out here. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I think this is my whole thought with Bitcoin dominance the other day. I posted an update and said, potentially I was hoping we did get a bit of a deeper one, but I'm not complaining. I'd rather the altcoins pump here because Bitcoin's so high already, guys. I mean, you can't even really make profits in terms of holding a spot on Bitcoin anymore, even at these prices. But like, it'll be interesting to play along here for Bitcoin. But I'm not really interested in that. I'm more interested in the altcoins today. Where's Solana? Solana needs to break above this level here. But yeah, I'm probably gonna jump off here. I did enjoy it today. We're gonna be a shorter stream. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter stream. I do appreciate everyone for joining. If you guys do want to join the Telegram group where we do take these trades every single day, make sure you guys do join. The link's in the description. And yeah, I do appreciate everyone for joining today. You can see last week we had a banging week. This week's been quite slow. But I do think that today we can potentially get some setup. So I do appreciate everyone for watching. Make sure you guys do join the group, and I'll check you guys another time.